Yeah, they hear them.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, let's go. So the saying, the koan today, the world, little world, a little door to a vast world, is every day is a good day. Every day is a good day. So if you just repeat that to yourself or engage with it however you wish, but let it into your heart, and every day a good day. Without trying to work it out or find ways to agree with it or disagree with it. Just every day is a good day. So the meditation is every day is a good day. And you can treat that as an inquiry. Is this my good day? Or you can just say it to yourself without having an attitude to it and see what you discover. Every day, a good day. Welcome back. We're going to take a short break and then have a talk.
but I will grab it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we could be relatively
So where do you live now?
downtown San Rosa.
Oh, that's a lovely place.
Okay.
Such a good roll down.
Yeah, yeah. Done many tours on the Big Bell.
So
The
good.
temples and stuff, around the temple. Okay, welcome back. The good day, it's a kind of great traditional saying, great traditional koan. And the full, once upon a time there was this teacher who said, I don't ask you about before the full moon, what about after the full moon? The full moon's when, you wake up, your heart opens, something like that. Enlightenment. What about after the full moon? And he was an interesting teacher, and when nobody answered, he'd answer himself, So he said, every day is a good day. And so people wrote it down, and it came down to us. He was one, maybe he's the person, or his descendants writing down the koans and collecting the stories are probably most of the people who did the most to pass the koans down were connected to him in some way in his lineage. And he was funny and poetic and strange. And like there's another Good Day koan where somebody said, oh, that's a good rain outside. That's a good rain outside. And the teacher said, what's good about it? And he was one of those be specific people, and the person didn't know what was good about it. And so the teacher said, ask me. And so the person said, what's good about it? And he pointed to the rain. So there was a playful kind of fun quality about the way he taught reality, really. And he has an interesting lineage connection where he was a student. He went and studied with a teacher who was very, very old, who had been the head of the temple under another great teacher, and was already a famous person, but whose mother got really old, and so he left the temple and went and lived in a small cottage and looked after his mother. And he made a living by making sandals for people, straw sandals and grass sandals and things. And but his students would still come and see him, and he had a little place he'd be in. They'd come and knock on the door, and sometimes he'd open it and sometimes he wouldn't. So anyway, the thought was, maybe he listens to our footsteps and he can tell whether we're really here or not. Anyway, the Good Day person, whose name was Cloud Gate, Yunmen, Cloud Gate. Kind of cool name, the gate to the clouds, Cloud Gate, Cloudy Gate. Anyway, he came and knocked a few times and nothing. The door didn't open, but then one time he came and the door opened. Immediately this very old guy, who was about 100 years old, grabs him and says, speak! And the young man says, I'm still not clear about myself. And the old man says, utterly useless stuff, and throws him out and closes the door. And at that moment, the young man had this big awakening experience, thrown out of the door. And then he stayed with that teacher for a while. And he got the teacher felt he got too old to really keep teaching and sent him off somewhere. And he became famous. Eventually that young person became famous. But you can see from I don't ask you about before the full moon, what about after the full moon? There's something about the idea that, you can have certain experiences that make it a bit easier, life easier. You can have experiences that act like gateways, the gate into the clouds. And when he got thrown out, maybe that was one of his experiences. He thought, oh, this isn't so bad, you know, like that. And so those awakening experiences, they touch really, I think, just the nature of the human heart and mind when we're not adding things or taking things away from our experience. You know? We're not narrating ourselves so much, we're just here in the world, and then everything starts to open. You know? And so that's kind of a hint about what the good day might be. I talked about this a bit during the summer retreat, the 7-day, and one person said this great thing about it, said it's a completely no bullshit koan, you know, because every time you start to talk to yourself about how your life's hard, or you don't know what to do, or somebody did it wrong, every day is a good day. And says, does it have to be? That you can tell there's something beautiful about, there's no other day to have. So this has got to be our good day. This is our good evening. Tree frogs singing, warm evening, global warming in full swing, you know. Every day is a good day, you know. So this is our life here, and just the brightness of it and the way it keeps expanding if we're willing to have it. And that includes, you know, the bits of the day that are really hard for you. You know, there's always lots of stuff that might be hard, loneliness or sorrow or concern about people we love, you know, concern about ourselves, you know. But in some way, every day is a good day measures to open out and embrace that. Which is why I think, in a way, it's an inquiry koan, because if you're having a hard time, oh, well, is this my good day? You know, yeah, is this my good day? You know, and because if it's not here, it's not anywhere. You know, it's not. If we don't have it now, we don't have it. So there's something rather. That's the vigorous sort of quality about it that that young woman called no bullshit quality about the koan. Every day is a good day. And there's a mysterious quality about it too, that there's a mysterious quality about that teacher, Yun Men, that he, one of the legends about him is that after he left the sandal maker and he went to another famous teacher, and he came to that teacher, he felt pretty enlightened by this time. He came to the teacher, and the teacher said, well, hello, who are you? And do you have any questions? And he said, what is Buddha? And the teacher said, stop talking in your sleep. So it's kind of like the same, it's like being thrown out the door. You know? So he's one of those young people who immediately tries to do something grand, you know, and the teacher wasn't impressed. But it kind of, the teacher liked the kid and kept him around. And then after a while, you know, he learned and became, you know, really a good leader. And so then he went off, and he went off wandering. And there's a great legend about that. There was a teacher with a temple who would say, who never had, there was headquarters for the person who ran the temple, the head of the administrator, the head of the temple, the leader of all the students. But this teacher never had a head. They had an assistant head who ran everything, but not the head of the temple. Said, well, and this teacher would say things like, the head of the temple was born today. And then he says things like, the head of the temple is going to school today and learning to write. Or, the head of the temple is looking after the family ox today, and on the farm, you know, that sort of thing. And then he'd say things like, the head of the temple is doing koan work in another temple today. And everybody thought, you know, this is some sort of, you know, people didn't know what it was, but they were dubious. And then one day he said, the head of the temple will arrive today. And everybody by this time was completely skeptical about what kind of gag this was going to be. And then Yun Men walks in, and he shows him straight to the headquarters, to the head of the temple's quarters. So the funny, mysterious, magical quality about this person. And you feel that in this koan, that what if we're always thinking our difficulties, we need some sort of stage process to get out of them, you know. But every day is a good day shows you that maybe you can get surprised, maybe surprising things can happen in the universe that can be good. And I think that's a wonderful thing to remember, that it's always too early to, you know, have a dark opinion about things. You know. And the other part of the magic of the koan is that it's like the universe is this one seamless body, really, and we're all big pieces of it. You know, we're all manifestations of the good day. You know, that everything in the universe is linked to everything else. You can't have you without having everything else in the universe. You know, the ants and the trees and distant galaxies and things, and the people you can't stand and the people you love and all that. And there's some way in which in the good day you might start to see things as, oh, we're all part of this great weave, you know, we're all part of the stars and the light. That light is in us, but it's in everyone here. And if you look around the room, you'll see, oh, there's no one that doesn't have that light. You know. Everybody's got it. Everybody's got the good day in their hearts. And you can see it in their eyes or their hands, you know, like that. So, yeah. It's all right. Look around the room. Check it out. Then you're taking shit. Look at someone. So there you go. It's interesting. Every day is a good day. Yeah. So, how was it for you? How did it go? How did you do? What did you like? What did you dislike? What did you object to about the koan? What did you discover? I was just trying to get here the whole time. What koan? You know, how was your meditation?
I felt like it was interesting, the koan, because yesterday I had this thought. It was a depressing thought, and I realized maybe I was depressed because I thought, another day, another day.
Every day is a bad day.
Every day is another day. And yeah, it was kind of the opposite. It was like every day is another day, like I'm going to wake up again to another day. And when I had that thought, I was like, why do I have that thought? Like, what's burdening me? Why do I have that thought? And I realized that sometimes I actually invite taking on burdens that aren't even my own burden, thinking that it's the right thing to do, that I should take on the burdens, and that without taking on the burdens, somehow I'm not paying attention, or I'm not being compassionate, really, to others' sufferings. And yet, in some ways, I drown in doing that.
That's beautifully put. That's, yeah. Is there more?
Well, I just, so the koan of every day is a good day was definitely like, every day's a good day. And I also just want to say that my nephew just got diagnosed with a melanoma in his eye that has a 50% chance of metastasizing over the next 5 years. And he's 29, he just got his doctorate in medical research and has been looking through a microscope at things in a room that's got skulls all around it because it's radiation. And I thought, oh, he had such potential. You know, he had so much. He just got his doctorate, you know, and my brother's a doctor, and they were all proud of him, and now he's got this cancer, and there's kind of that feeling of like, dang, you know, like every day is a day that something could happen that could crush your world. It's like a rock hitting your window seal or something, you know, and there's a part of me that's like, there's going to be a lot of rocks hitting the window seal. And I don't like that there's so many rocks in life hitting the window seal. but I know that, and I said to my partner, I want to be on a spiritual path. I want my life to be about the spiritual path. And I thought, well, what is the spiritual path? and it felt like the spiritual path is somehow getting underneath all those rocks that are hitting the window.
Yeah, and it's like he's feeling what you feel, and also knowing that that's he's allowed to have his life. That's between him and the universe, and we can love him, and we can accompany him to the extent we can, or to the extent that's welcome. You know, one of our leaders, who's a teacher in the other side of the country, just got a part of his small intestine taken out in emergency surgery, and I don't know how it's going to be, but nobody knows, you know, lymphoma. But I wrote to him, don't die, I'm enjoying getting to know you. And it's like, that's all, it's like, knock it off.
Right.
But, you know, he'll die if he has to, or does. Somebody else said, those small intestines are too long anyways. So it's all true, you know, all of it's true, you know, the sorrow and the joy and the humor about it, and that's life too, you know.
Yeah.
You know, since this guy was just out of hospital, he was saying, you know, people say my miraculous activity is, you know, eating and drinking, and he said, mine's learning how to pee and shit, you know, because
Right.
you know, it's like my intestines not working. It's what it's for, you know, sort of thing. And so, and you see, it's all right, you know, inside that. That's it. The flow is there. So I think knowing that inside, you know, I think he's got a lot going on, but I also knows how much he loves being connected to, and it's kind of nice, actually.
Right.
Maybe your nephew will be like that too, I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And, you know, this is a life we're walking through, and we can make it wrong, but you know, I think we get it. You know, you said that thing, I like to take on other people's burdens, and I think that's an interesting thing to inquire into, because is that even true?
Mm-hmm.
You like to, or just feel like it's your habit or something like that.
Right.
And then, oh, that's how I have a self. You know, I know who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just well, not too inflated, really. And Mary as well. Yeah.
Right.
I'll hold you if you come down from the cross. I'll hold your body. You know. So yeah, so there's that kind of, I don't know, the ways we make a self by being indignant or being, you know, taking our arms or whatever it is we do.
Mm-hmm.
And life flows by in this vast way.
Right. Right.
Who else? Thank you. Yeah.
So it was interesting to me because at first I was like, every day is a good day. Like I have felt that like recently, like my days have been good. And there's a part of me that's like kind of embarrassed, like, oh, I don't know, because I meet people and they say how stressed their life is, and then they go, well, how are you? And I'm like, well, I'm good. And then I feel like I shouldn't be good, like, because they're not good. And so it's interesting just to watch sort of like, oh, like, do I even talk about that I'm okay? Because I haven't always been okay.
Right,
Well, you've known. And then the other thing that I that kind of wove in is I found out yesterday or on Saturday an ex-boyfriend of mine from like 10 or 15 years ago, he died. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't a good boyfriend, but he had a big impact on my life. Mm-hmm. And maybe I wasn't a good girlfriend either, so, you know, who knows? But that's, who knows? And that doesn't matter. But I was thinking about his death and just thinking, like, I can feel his spirit laughing, like, because he was just sort of like that, like he was connected to the spirit world, and I can just sort of see him like laughing, like, oh, okay, I'm crossing over. And so it was just, you know, thinking
Nice,
about
yeah.
a good day.
I think it's good not to apologize for your joy,
Yeah.
you know,
Thank you.
and have it, you know, it's like, I'm having a good time, yeah. Did you hear about da-da-da-da? Yes, and I'm having a good time. Because it's always in the midst of something, you know, and it just is. And yeah, it's important to speak for joy. And I remember long ago, my daughter, who's about 30 now, when she was in high school, they were trying to be a correct high school, and they were giving them like lots of information about disasters they were going to have to face and probably fail to deal with, like global warming and injustice and minority rights, lots of things. And so, and she said something like that. Are we allowed to have a good time? It's important not to give the kids despair. And I think people, in a way, that's just another identity, despair too. It's another set that we were talking about. It's a selfing thing. We make a self by saying, ain't it awful, and I'm recruiting you, and then we can be together, we have a nice little nest. Ain't it awful? So, and it's not to say that, I mean, I like people to also speak from the heart, so it's pretty painful. Well, tell me, you know. It's also, we don't censor the good stuff, you know. You notice dying people, if you work with dying people, they're great like that. They're often great like that. They've been like, they want to hear how you're happy and you're planning to live longer than they do, and, you know, enjoy their funeral. it's like, they don't want you to be gloomy, they can do that for themselves. Who else? Yeah.
I just spent the last few months with a long time friend that was dying, and he was so clear. He was so that this is it, you know, and I want to be around the people I love, and he restricted who could be in there. There was just a few of us, and it was so cool the way he just did that, and how he just wanted to talk about our relationship and the love and the things that we shared and didn't share, or what, you know, this and that, and what was going on in my life and how he was feeling. And it was just, it was something I've never experienced. And
nice
was
work when you can get it, you know. It's like, yeah,
it really
dying
was
with that clap, it's great, you know.
You know, and he just,
Let's
I mean,
all die that way.
This was it, and right to the end, and when he passed, we all just felt fine. I mean, it was just,
No.
so it was a good day he died.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah. I mean, I too have experienced that. People I've loved.
Doesn't mean you're not sad.
Yeah, but that's part of your good day. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be a good day if you weren't allowed to be sad for people you love.
Yeah.
Right. Anyone else?
Well, I've been having a bad day. So I just spent most of the sitting period just successfully finally managing to stop fussing about the outside object of problem and just coming into myself and taking care of it inside. And that made it a better day, you know, not to be constantly out there fussing with it, and just like, okay, I can take care of this here, you know.
I remember when I was really young, when I was about 4 or 3 or something, I had great aunts who really, everybody should be raised by great old maiden aunts. They were great, you know. But they would take me to movies, and the horses would gallop, like, you know, try and adjust for the horses, you know, sort of thing. But you didn't have to do that during the movie. You know? It's sort of like that. You don't have to actually adjust for the horses or the car driving towards you, or you know, warn the person that a villain's sneaking up on them, or any of those things. I felt I had to do, you know, at the time. But it's like when you're dreaming, you just have to, you know, it's all right. whatever's going on when you're dreaming, it's all right to have it, but it's a dream, you know. And I think meditation is good like that, that we keep trying to adjust it out there and realize, wait, I'm in here, I don't have to do that, you know. So, and sometimes through just letting it go, some problems sort of weren't real and they solved themselves. And other problems are real and we have some sort of vision of them. You know, so something happens, you know. So I mean, some understanding deepens, but sometimes it doesn't, you know. I like sitting, I sit outside a lot. And I often sit outside at night, in the middle of the night, because I like that time. I first used to meditate in the middle of the night in temples and things, and somehow it got to me. But so it wakes me up now, and I go and sit. But and there's this mysterious thing, you know, where you don't have to make sense of things. You know, they're just here, and the night is here, and the frogs, and the trees, and the moonlight, or whatever's going, plane going overhead, and you don't have to fix it. There's nothing to be fixed. You know, I think that's the good day like that. And I think you know that, but you know, in a way, worrying is another way of having a self. Just like feeling I have to take on the burden. You know, I have to fix it and stuff. You know. We all have our characteristic ways of manufacturing somebody we call John in my case. You know. Good. Also, the other thing is to be sweet about, I'm glad you're saying this, because to be sweet about those times when meditation's just like that. You know, like, I didn't give it permission to, but my mind is just like running away, you know. And I don't have to, it doesn't have to consult me, and obviously it doesn't, so it clearly doesn't have to, you know. And I just, in a way, to not take it too seriously is also a generosity, you know. Because it, I don't know, it does what it does. It's like, you know, like an animal, you know. Like I have a sheep who, you know, wants to be fed, but then wants to charge me when I feed her. You know, it's like that's what she does. You know? Just like my mind. So it's funny. She's backing off on that a bit, but still, it's a slow process with sheep.
Small brain.
Yeah. She thinks I just don't get it, you know. I should be serving her a lot more, like, diligently.
When we had animals, if the cows got out, you could always sort of chase them back because they remembered perfectly well where the hole in the fence was, and you know they would say okay and go back through it. The sheep never had a clue where that hole was. You could not get them back through it. My mother died 6 weeks ago, and all the koans are about that for me right now. During the process of her dying, I was really fine. She was almost 98. She was ready to go. My sister, you know, made it from Boston. Everything was, you know, we kept her in her apartment. Everything was fine. But part of me was trying to make it that good day, was trying to manage this process, and of course another part of me knowing perfectly well that it's her death, not my death, and that all of my efforts to control things were just getting in the way of just being with whatever was happening. But thinking back about those days, thinking about those days as good days, that's hard.
Well, like, would you rather be with her or not be with her? It's like that, you know. Yeah, you know.
Oh, it's much better not. It's over that awfulness.
Yeah. But even when it's not, when she's alive, then the question is, oh, do I want to be with her when she's like that or not?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a genuine question.
Yeah.
You can find out the answer. And,
Yeah.
you know, and then it's like, my mother was really difficult when she was dying, but I'd rather be there. But I didn't like string it out either when she was being difficult.
No, no,
you know,
yeah,
and,
yeah, it was enough.
I'll be back tomorrow, Mum. And she got it, and she was kind of grateful. But that was about all she could bear too. If I couldn't bear it, it was a sign that she couldn't bear being around me any longer.
Yeah, yeah.
She had to feel stuff, and she wasn't into that. You know.
Oh, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Sort of funny. So it was okay. I'll be back tomorrow and read you some more poems.
In the meditation, I found myself wondering about the joke of it. If every day is a good day, is every century a good century and every minute a good minute? And then is it only about time, or is it every dog a good dog and every pork chop a good pork chop? And thinking it's about the idea of not picking and choosing. It's all
That's a very
it's
good poem.
it's all
right
good.
there.
You know?
Pork chop. You're a good pork chop. Well, you know, that is that thing, any animal you look at, or any tree, it's got it, you know, you can see
yeah.
that, right? And it's like, it's, wow, that's so obvious, and but we act like it's not true. And
Right.
It's
Right.
amazing. It's a, yeah. That's beautiful. Okay, well, I think we might have done it. Thank you very much for coming. We're heading into autumn here, and the poet Tony Hoagland said, autumn is the philosophical season. And so we're heading into the thoughtful, reflective part of the year, and it's harvest, and in a way, extraneous things falling off us, perhaps, you know. So I wish you well with your every day is a good day. It's a good thing to take off into autumn with. So thank you. And Amy has announcements.
So the first is we have a donation box by the door, which really helps us keep the doors open. So give if you can. We have an email list at the back. We send out 1 email a week letting you know what's happening. And we have a lot happening. So the first thing is that a new issue of Uncertainty Club, which is our online magazine, has been published. It's uncertainty.club. It's a magazine of Zen and the arts. Next Sunday, Susan is leading from 10:30 to 12, and next Monday night I will be leading. And then we have a couple retreats coming up. September 21st, Rachel Boughton is doing a refuge retreat and a refuge ceremony here, which will be really lovely. There's information about that on the website. And then October 6th, Rachel and I are going to be leading a meditation hike. Some of you have come before. It's up where I live on St. Helena Road. So that's the afternoon of October 6th. There's a flyer in the back if you're interested. You can go walking with a koan. And then the fall retreat, October 13th to 20th, is down at Land of the Medicine Buddha in Soquel. You can register for that online. And November 8th through 10th, Rachel and Dee Allen, who's a leader in both Carmel and Oaxaca, are doing a retreat in Oaxaca for the first time. So you can find out about all of that on pacificzen.org. That's it.
Excellent.
And then I'm going to pass out books.
You know, we'll be fine.
What?
We'll be fine. If we'll either know it or we'll not
Know
by
it
the
or we
second
won't
time.
know it.
Okay,
It's repetitive.
Yeah. We've heard it before. Most of us have heard it before.
Just sing along if you haven't heard it. We're going to sing the 4 vows. 3 times. I forgot the title.
Just hit the bells all
4
the time.
boundless.
4 boundless bells.
Boundless.
You need a book.
The 4 boundless vows. I vow to wake all the beings of the world. I vow to set endless heartache to rest. I vow to walk through every wisdom gate.
heartache to rest. I vow to walk through every wisdom gate. I vow to live the great Buddha way. I vow to wake all the beings of the world. I vow to set endless heartache to rest. I vow to walk through every wisdom gate. I vow to live the great Buddha way.
Thank you very much, everyone.